The body washes up at dawn. 4 meters of great white shark, the most feared predator in the ocean, lying dead on a South African beach. There is no sign of a struggle. No missing limbs. Just one clean incision between the pectoral fins, opened with surgical precision. The liver has been removed. Nothing else has been touched. Over the following weeks, 4 more arrive. Same beach, same wound, same organ missing. Something is hunting great white sharks. And it is very good at it. To understand what happened, you have to go back to 2017 and to 2 animals that scientists now know by name. They are male orcas, killer whales, and they are distinctive because both of them have collapsed dorsal fins, one bending to the left, one to the right. Researchers called them Port and Starboard. They are, without exaggeration, the most consequential predators in modern South African waters. First, the victim. The great white shark is not a small animal. Females reach 6 meters and over 2 tons, 300 serrated teeth, a bite measured at nearly 2 tons of force. It detects a single drop of blood in 100 liters of water, senses the electrical fields of a beating heart, and has been refining this design for 16 million years. In almost every ocean on Earth, it has no natural predator. Almost. Now the hunter. An adult male orca reaches 9 meters and 6 tons, 3 times the weight of the shark it is hunting. It swims at 50 kilometers an hour. But the size is not what matters. What matters is the brain. Relative to body size, the orca has one of the largest and most complex brains of any animal alive. It hunts in coordinated groups. It teaches tactics to its young. Different populations have different cultures, different dialects, different techniques passed down across generations. It does not just hunt, it plans. Orcas do not hunt like other predators. In Argentina, they deliberately strand themselves on beaches to snatch sea lions, then wriggle back into the surf, a technique so dangerous that mothers spend years teaching it to their calves. In Antarctica, they swim in formation to generate waves that wash seals off ice floes. Every population has its own inherited playbook. What Port and Starboard did was write a new page. The attack itself is disturbingly efficient. The orcas approach in a pair. One moves in from the side and takes hold of a pectoral fin. Sharks have a weakness. Turn them upside down and they enter a paralyzed state called tonic immobility. Within seconds, the shark stops fighting. It is conscious. It simply cannot move. And then, while it is still alive, the second orca opens the abdomen and removes the liver. Why the liver? Because a great white's liver is enormous. Up to 1/4 of its entire body weight, and it is packed with oil. In a large shark, that single organ holds hundreds of kilograms of the richest food in the ocean. The muscle is lean and stringy. The liver is pure fuel. The orcas are not being cruel. They are being efficient. They take the most valuable part and leave the rest to sink. The precision is what unsettles the scientists. The incision appears between the pectoral fins, almost the same place every time. Necropsies showed the liver removed cleanly, the surrounding organs untouched. This is not a frenzy. It is a technique, learned refined, and repeated. These two animals worked out exactly where to cut, and then did it again, and again, and again. In 2022, a drone captured what researchers had only inferred. Footage from above the water showed Starboard alone, gripping a great white, holding it and extracting the liver in under 2 minutes, without assistance. It rewrote the assumption that this required a pair, one animal working solo, dismantling the ocean's most famous predator, while a boat full of scientists watched from the surface. So why did their dorsal fins collapse? Nobody knows for certain. Collapsed fins are common in captive orcas, but rare in the wild. Injury, genetics, and even fighting have all been suggested. Whatever the cause, it made these two individually identifiable. And that accident of anatomy is the only reason we can trace this story at all. Without those bent fins, the killings would simply be an unexplained pattern of bodies on a beach. Then came the part nobody predicted. The great whites left. Gansbaai had been one of the most reliable places on Earth to see them. Cage diving operators built an entire industry on it. After the killings began, sightings collapsed. In some seasons, the sharks vanished from the bay entirely for months at a time. An apex predator that has ruled these waters for millions of years simply abandoned the coastline. There is a detail here that is easy to miss. The sharks did not simply die. They learned. Tagged individuals were tracked, fleeing the area within hours of the orcas arriving, and some did not return for a year. A fish with a brain the size of a walnut recognized a specific threat, remembered it, and permanently changed its migration. Fear, it turns out, travels faster than teeth. Removing an apex predator does not leave a neat, empty space. It causes a cascade. With the great whites gone, bronze whaler sharks moved into the vacancy and were promptly hunted by the same orcas. Cape fur seal behavior shifted. The entire structure of the bay reorganized itself around the absence of one animal. Ecologists call this a trophic cascade. It is the clearest demonstration in modern times that fear alone can reshape an ecosystem. This is not the only place it happens. Off California, a single encounter with orcas in 1997 sent white sharks fleeing the Farallon Islands for the rest of the season. In Australia, carcasses have appeared with the same signature wound. The behavior is spreading. Or, more unsettlingly, we are only now learning to recognize something orcas have always done. There is a harder question underneath all of this. Why are these orcas here at all? One hypothesis is that they belong to a rare offshore population that normally hunts sharks in deep water, pushed inshore by shifting prey or changing ocean conditions. If that is true, then this is not simply a story about two unusual animals. It is a symptom, evidence that something in the wider ocean has already moved. We are used to a certain hierarchy. The great white sits at the top of it. In our films, our nightmares, our idea of the sea, what Port and Starboard demonstrated is that the hierarchy was never about size, or teeth, or bite force. It was about intelligence, and when something arrives that is bigger, faster, socially coordinated and capable of teaching, the old apex predator does not fight. It leaves. So this is the file. Two orcas with broken fins, hunting a coastline, a technique refined into something close to a trade. Bodies on the sand with one incision and one organ missing, and an entire population of great white sharks that looked at what was happening and decided that the safest thing it could do was leave. The ocean has a top predator. It is not the one you were taught to fear. This has been Beast Files. Every beast has a file. Subscribe, and we'll open them all.